Well, this album's got a lot of different opinions, hasn't it? So, Avenged Sevenfold are my favourite band. They have been since City of Evil. Um, and yeah, Life is But a Dream has been an album, or well, just a new album by Avenged Sevenfold, has been highly anticipated over years, seeing that their previous album, The Stage, came out in something like 2016 or something, and it had been years since they actually had made an album or even really talked about an album being anywhere close to even being finished. So a load of people were anticipating it, and eventually, finally, we get a single dropped, Nobody. It was a bit hit and miss. People were very torn over that song, but then kind of just thinking, oh well, it's fine, we'll just see what comes next. And then the track We Love You comes out, and even more divisive was that track. People thinking, this is it, after all this time, this is what they give. If you're an Avenged Sevenfold fan, I'd expect you'd be disappointed. Like, if I was an Avenged Sevenfold fan, I'd just imagine all the fans and how disappointed they are. I feel really sorry for them, speaking on every fan's behalf. Even some of the fans which have the death bat tattooed on their arm and everything, saying, I really love them, they're one of the best bands and everything, and they're going so out there and everything, and it's just weird. It's such a weird songs, and so the album drops and it goes even further. Like, oh my god, it's so weird, terrible. This is their midlife crisis of an album and everything. Every band always has the worst album, this is it and everything. I'm such a hardcore Avenged Sevenfold fan, and this is not Avenged Sevenfold. This is awful, absolutely horrendous. So what was my kind of opinion once I heard it? My opinion was, Avenged Sevenfold aren't really doing anything different. Bit weird that, coming off of what everyone says, that my opinion is Avenged Sevenfold aren't really doing anything new. Now you say that, and I imagine people immediately, well, some of them, because some people actually say that this album is actually a masterpiece, and one of the greatest albums to come out of recent years, and also Avenged Sevenfold's greatest album to date, while others again say it's absolute trash and one of the worst albums to ever exist in the history of society. So them saying Avenged Sevenfold, they've made such a mess, this is so not Avenged Sevenfold. How is it I can come out and actually state that this is just Avenged Sevenfold and nothing different? Well, I can easily prove that. So this album's filled with random things. You've got auto-tune, you've got different styles of music, like electronic things, you've got crazy song structures and mad things and weird lyrical theming and everything, and acoustic stuff, and then bluesy kind of stuff, and then some kind of more jazzy stuff. You got piano things in there, and it's just like, this is weird, this is not Avenged Sevenfold. If you listen to Avenged Sevenfold's catalogue, Avenged Sevenfold has touched on pretty much all of these things previously. You go into the self-titled album, an album that's adored by many of the Avenged Sevenfold fans. You get the track Lost pulled up. The chorus of Lost, as well as the whole outro of Lost, is all sung with auto-tune. So people saying, oh, I hate the auto-tune, oh, this is awful, this is Avenged Sevenfold. Yeah, Avenged Sevenfold used this. Oh, the amounts they used the piano and everything, it's just like, yet again, Avenged Sevenfold used the piano quite frequently. Oh, the weird structures and the complete randomness and everything cannot be in traditional metal, it's all weird and everything. The Rev would be turning in his grave, he wouldn't accept any of this. The Rev wrote A Little Piece of Heaven, one of the most out there songs in the catalogue of Avenged Sevenfold. Saying they've lost it since the Rev passed. This album is more like the Rev than anything they've done since his unfortunate passing. This is more in lines with the mindset of the Rev. The crazy song structures, the madness of what the song is, all the weird things that are thrown in and brought in with the pianos, the electronics, the violins, the orchestras, everything. The Rev did that all the time, and Avenged Sevenfold has done that frequently all the time. And this album is just that. What Avenged Sevenfold's previous catalogue did was basically, it maintained the we are Avenged Sevenfold and we live in the confines of heavy metal. Therefore, we have that boundary that we can't cross. We have to be in the confine of what heavy metal is. And in doing so, it means that they stay very close to that formulaic nature of you cannot break out of the metal scene. But they'll take reaches and certain things. As I said, they do auto-tune, but not to the level of what Life is But a Dream is. They do a weird song like A Little Piece of Heaven, but not to the extreme. They do these little things throughout their catalogue, but it's small little bits here and there, while most of it is that core essence. Life is But a Dream is taking them little bits, them little intricacies, that new approach and everything, the creativity side, the weirdness that is Avenged Sevenfold and what they've been doing for decades at this point. And they've literally just expanded all of that and said, fuck the heavy metal boundary, we're musicians. And as musicians, we are just going to create music. Fuck the boundaries, fuck the confines of the metal scene. We're musicians. And as I said, it's not really going that out there, like tracks like G and O being very bluesy and electronic. Especially G having a lot of kind of blues, kind of jazz kind of elements. And it's like, oh, this isn't Avenged Sevenfold. Weird, you know where Sinister Gates started from? Sinister Gates started in that music scene. His dad being a guitarist who works in more of that kind of jazz blues essence. That is the DNA and the foundation of Sinister Gates. He is very well trained in that. And then he moved to heavy metal. He's gone on to now start doing gypsy jazz, which is kind of a lot of that weirdness about what makes his solos so incredible, because it is so insane and weird and different because of all them influence and that gypsy jazz style that he does. That's what makes him. So with Gene, it's just like, oh my god, this is so weird and it sounds so not Avenged Sevenfold. It's like, yeah, it's very different, but it's still at the core Avenged Sevenfold. This is the core essence of Sinister Gates. This is a clear, defining part of who he is. And it has technically been touched on in elements. As I said, the gypsy jazz kind of soloing style that Sinister does, that kind of bluesy kind of element. And it's like, oh, you got sprinkles of it here and there throughout the catalogue and everything. It's just, they've just made it one piece song. But it has always been Avenged Sevenfold. The auto-tune and everything. Again, Avenged Sevenfold has done auto-tune in the past. They also do listen to a wide variety and a wide range. They do listen to rap music, they do listen to pop music, they listen to heavy metal music, as I said, they listen to jazz and gypsy jazz and blues and everything. They listen to a wide spectrum. They got people in the band like Zaki Vengeance and Johnny Christ who lean more into the kind of punk kind of scene. So this is technically all of them. It's just taking that creativity and blowing it up. So saying it's not what they've done previously, well, it is. It's just they've, as I said, blown it up. They've expanded on it. So it's not really anything vastly different to what has been in the past. Avenged Sevenfold have touched on pretty much all of these like topics, subjects, styles previously. So there isn't anything really new about it. Oh, the Rev won't accept this. Bollocks. And also, how dare you? They're friends with the Rev. They've been his friend for many years. They know the Rev more than you do, and to say you don't know him, he won't accept this, he'd turn in his grave, I think is incredibly insulting and offensive. Also the fact that the Rev, with Pinkly Smooth, weird as hell music, A Little Piece of Heaven, really weird music, and Life is But a Dream, which people say is way too weird, and the Rev only wrote the most serious of tracks. What on earth are you talking about? So with that out the way, well, yeah, they've touched on it in the past. Okay, fine, the Rev is kind of like this, you could say, but the music don't work. Again, I argue the latter. I think this works very, very well. I think the music creativity on this is very interesting. The unfortunate nature of listening to metal these days is there are so many bands doing metal these days. There are so many bands copying previous bands. There's all the copycats. There's thousands of bands out there. There's been billions of things already done and achieved and everything. So whoever you listen to, whoever your favourite artist is, you can align them with, oh, this sounds like this band, and this sounds like this band, and this sounds like this band, and oh, well, this is clearly influenced from this, and this is clearly influenced from this, and this is clearly influenced from this. Oh, this reminds me of this, and this, and this, and this. So nothing is its own thing. Where it's like, this is new, this is interesting. It's basically, I'm listening to a band doing something I've heard here and here and here and here and here, and then it gets boring, it gets mundane, and it gets repetitive. No one is actually musically being creative these days. It's just their take on what's already been done. This album, Avenged Sevenfold, have gone as musicians and songwriters and being creative. We are actually doing something that is fresh and new. And as I said, it's not really even that new. It's things Avenged Sevenfold have done previously in the past. It's what other artists have kind of done, but not to the level of this and at the metal end. So I do still find this very creative. I said Game Over, the first track, the acoustic intro. Again, Sinister Gates is well trained acoustically, and you don't get all that kind of acoustic style really in metal. It can be there, but not to a mass extent. So I like it being there. The fast singing and everything, okay, I'm not very keen on fast singing because it reminds me a bit of rap, and I hate rap. But I said the album is going for a lyrical theme and everything, and the music is trying to support that as well. Game Over is about a person who is basically reflecting on everything that has happened in their life, from birth up to the now, and he's rampantly going through it because his mind is spinning about everything of his life, how mundane it is, how repetitive it is, how everything in life is so formulaic that we're all just repeating the exact same thing day after day, and in the different ages of life, everyone still is going through similar things because life is basically just going round and round on this circle. It's all just put into certain places, and knowing this, he hangs himself. So I said the music being rampant and everything, and then even with the solo and everything, it's that insanity, it's that mind spinning that the music is trying to incorporate into it. Same with Mattel about being how artificial the world is. Matt going outside and seeing this, most people's lawns are fake grass. Nothing's really real, everything has barcodes on it, so there's no actual nature, there's no real beauty to life. Everything is now all man-made and everything, and we're just living in an artificial world. And then the solo also backing this up. The solo being so bloomin' weird because Sinister Gates puts it through bloody auto-tune. Again, being creative, doing something new, and still working with the fact that it's a very artificially sounding solo. It's thinking, it's being aware of the song, feeling the song, and then trying to express what the song is lyrically about and the point. Instead, it goes into the same thing with Nobody, a person who's contemplating suicide or has killed themselves and is going through time and space, looking through life, trying to find a place, and again finding that life is just mundane. It's filled with war. War happens in the past. War will happen in our future. Life never ever changes. And then when he gets to where he believes the afterlife is, there's barcodes everywhere. It's again artificial. Things you have to pay for. You have to pay for happiness. You have to pay for the perfect afterlife. So people saying, oh well, the riff, oh it's so mundane of dun dun dun, and just repetitive. It's like, because it's trying to emphasize the mundane life, the mundaneness of life as a whole, through history, through our future, that mundane monotony of just everything just being exactly the same, and no matter where you go throughout future or into the past, you will always be faced with the exact same issues you'll never be able to escape from. There's nowhere for us to go, it's all the same. And then the Nobody end solo is ridiculously insane. It again goes with that kind of like whole nature of like sorrow and pain and everything, and then the frantic nature of just trying to find yourself, and then falling into an abyss and everything until eventually just kind of giving up. So the solo does tell the story of what the song is representing. And I say it goes throughout everything. We Love You, said to be one of the weirdest songs. It is very weird. There's lots to it. I said you got slide guitar. Slide guitar is a thing. It's technical. It sounds good. And then you've got another kind of solo. You got scream vocals and everything. I say it's incorporating everything. And then musically, for what it's going for, it makes sense. And I said, and that's the album. It's why I actually really like it. Does it beat City of Evil? I don't know. City of Evil was the first album I heard by Avenged. It's what got me into them. It's what kind of started me getting this into heavy metal music. So City of Evil will always hold somewhere in my heart. But I know Life Is But a Dream is so creative. The solos are so intricate and intense, and there's so many different styles and everything. The Sinister's not just doing the typical solo. He's touching on blues, he's touching on jazz, he's touching on his gypsy jazz things, he's touching on shred, he's touching on being expressive, showing emotion. He's touching on using different like equipment and everything, like in Mattel with the autotune and everything. It's a guitarist that is showing an absolute plethora of skill and diversity and styles and complexities, and just taking them to an insane level. You could say same with Man, how he presents himself. You say the same with the song structures. The song structures always changing up, having so many different things. The fact is, you can listen to this album because it's so fresh and so unique and everything. It doesn't get repetitive like other albums which are just doing the same thing, because Life Is But a Dream is so vastly different. The songs change so dramatically. Therefore, there is a lot more to it, and therefore it's a lot harder to get bored of it. The last track being just a piano outro, that's Sinister Gates. Sinister Gates learnt how to play that. So again, it's one of the musicians playing a musical piece. I'd love it to be a standalone Sinister Gates solo, because I've been wanting that for years. But it's still interesting that he learned piano, he did that, and he is playing that piece. It's a musician showing skill. I don't listen to piano music all the time, I don't do that, it's not my style. But I do still appreciate music and skill, and therefore I like it. I love the song G because of that bluesy kind of nature. I like that blues jazz style with the solo and everything. I really like it. Ordinary, I also like the solo in there as well. What is this track, Beautiful Lie something? Sinister Gates has a vocal element in there. No, Beautiful Morning. Yeah, Sinister Gates takes lead vocals in a portion of that track. Again, it's them really going through music. Not just metal, but it's like, what is music? What does music do? And we will use all of it. I don't see what the problem with that really is. I don't see why people are like, no, you can't show music. You're just metal. Therefore blues sucks. Therefore jazz sucks. Therefore auto-tune sucks. It sucks in a way. If you overuse it and you actually can't sing, then yeah, it sucks. Making song structures that are not the basic formula where it's like, oh well, we love you. It's like, I don't know what the verse is and I don't know what the beat is. It's like, so? Who cares? We love you. It's like, you got your scream vocals, you got your shreddy solo, you've got a slide guitar solo, which is really interesting and different. Cosmic as well, that solo is ridiculous and blistering fast. So, when people say it's a masterpiece, I tend to agree with them. This is musicians. This is not, we are metal and we are doing what metal does. No, this is musicians. This is very, very skilled musicians being very, very creative. With the lyrical theming, with the music also enveloping that emotion, it oozes emotion, it states what is being said. The solos are also leaning into it. I said all the solos, Sinister Gates knows what the song is and what the emotion is and displays it. It's just an extension. And I said Sinister Gates goes through an unbelievable amount of different styles and everything, which I adore. I think Sinister Gates is one of the greatest guitarists ever. In my opinion, he's my favourite. There may be players who are more technical in different aspects, but I think as a whole, Sinister Gates is unbelievably creative. Because he doesn't just stick to the same thing. He has so many influences, so many styles, and he incorporates it all the time. Therefore, he's a massively versatile guitarist. That's the fact. Avenged Sevenfold is a versatile band. It's not the simple confined of metal. And I find that with Avenged Sevenfold through the past. Avenged Sevenfold has always been versatile. Each album being different, having a different kind of theme, having a different tone to it, trying new things, being more piano, more poppy, more heavy, being more out there with Little Piece of Heaven. That is Avenged Sevenfold. Being more prog and everything, being more 80s style. That's Avenged. I say it's an issue with the Nightmare album, because Nightmare didn't really tread anything really new. It was kind of just like, yeah, that's just typical Avenged Sevenfold. Unfortunately for that album, still enjoy it, I just don't think it was as creative. Matt Shadows has even said similar to that. But this is Avenged Sevenfold. Avenged Sevenfold have always been like this. So I think fans saying, oh, the Rev wouldn't want it, I think that's a load of crap. Saying this is an Avenged Sevenfold, again, that's a load of crap. They've done this a lot through their catalogue. It's just this is turned up to a higher extent. And they're always creative. And their influences are all in this. It's musicians literally just bringing in absolutely everything. You may think it's a bit of a mess, but I think if you really kind of listen to it and then kind of get used to it and the transitions and everything, I think they have gelled everything together very, very well. I think, again, the music really backs up the lyrical themes and everything, and I think Sinister Gates has displayed himself better than anything really in the past, just with the vastness of styles and techniques and equipment and stuff that he uses on this. So yeah, I don't think this is a mess. I don't think it's a disappointment for fans. I think this is a masterpiece and a 10 out of 10.